You know, nothing warms my heart more than forced patriotism. You know, somebody making you, compelling you to salute something in power. Oh, you know, a good thing, you know, that's what happens in North Korea, right? They all have to pretend they love the leader. Same thing in the old Soviet Union. They used to do that stuff, forced patriotism. We're better than that in the United States. I saw this story at BuzzFeed. A high school student suspended for not standing during Pledge of Allegiance.
Wow.
Has sued the principal. She was expelled for not standing during the national anthem.
Wait, they expelled her?
Well, they sent her home.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
On Monday, October 2nd, Windfern High School student India Landry was sent to the school's principal's office for texting on her cell phone while in the office, according to the complaint. The Pledge of Allegiance came on over the school's intercom, and Landry continued sitting. So while she's in the principal's office for using her cell phone in class, over the loudspeakers comes on, she continues sitting. Then the principal, Martha Strother, asked Landry to stand. The 17-year-old declined. According to the complaint, Strother told Landry, well, you're kicked out of here for not being sufficiently patriotic. Got kicked out of fucking school.
And then the secretary jumped in,
and then the secretary,
according to this article.
The secretary jumps in and says, this is not the NFL.
So 2 adults ganging up on a kid. In this case, it looks like.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is not the NFL? What? According to... Yeah, I know. You're in an institution run by the state. Yeah, it's not the NFL. The NFL is a private organization. You're in an institution run by the state, and you're enforcing patriotism? According to the complaint, Landry sat for the Pledge of Allegiance around 200 times in class through six or more teachers without incident.
Yeah, I used to do that. Like, I would always, I just thought it was, like, weird. And I never, like, as soon as I kind of, like, understood what the words meant, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I would always, like, sit. And I occasionally I would be questioned. And what I did to try to be funny is I would always give, like, a different title for myself. Like, they'd be like, why aren't you standing? I'd be like, I'm an anarchist. And they'd be like, why aren't you standing? I'd be like, I'm a socialist. I'd be like, why aren't you standing? I'd be like, I'm a trade unionist. And, like,
really?
I was a pretty decent student, so no teacher ever wanted to. They were just like, all right, whatever, placone. But yeah, I would have been suspended every day. I never stood for it.
I always had, well, I went to Catholic school.
So did I.
So I just stood and put my hand over my heart. I thought I never really gave much thought to it. But now, I mean, you're a bigger thinker than me, Ron.
I don't know. I didn't really, like, it wasn't some strong conviction. I just thought it was like, I didn't like the idea of groupthink. I had read Orwell at that point, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Oh, how old were you?
I guess like 9th grade, like 13, 14. Yeah.
They would have hit me. I don't know about your Catholic school, but my Catholic school, they beat the shit out of us.
Oh, no, they didn't. I mean, there'd be like a couple kind of joke thing. Like if a cover was off your book, we had one teacher that would like hit you over the head with a book. Yeah. Like not like super hard, but it was like it was almost like a half joke, but yeah.
Oh, no, we got hit for real.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't
we got
like
hit.
for
It
real.
Hurt. When they hit us, it hurt.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, they like to hurt us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not kidding.
I believe it. I believe it. No, it wasn't quite like that for me.
Yeah, I had a teacher, Mr. Seeberger, a first day of class in 8th grade, came up behind me with a hardcover book and hit me as hard as he could on the side of my head.
Wow.
Almost knocked me out of my chair.
Sheesh.
First day of school, Mr. Seeberger did that. That guy's a piece of shit.
What'd you do?
I had a textbook, and someone had put a piece of gum in it. You know, they would give you, they would get textbooks from the class from the previous year. So it's the first day of class, I opened the textbook, and there's a piece of gum on a picture of a person right on his nose. And I opened it and it kind of like strings like a big snot. And when I opened it, that happened. And I'm in 8th grade and I started giggling like, oh, that's funny. All of a sudden I notice I get hit in the back of the head.
Wow.
By Mr. Seeberger.
No time. He didn't even ask like, did you do this?
No, he didn't ask. He's just he was an asshole.
Sheesh.
That's the kind of people Catholics hire to teach their kids. Fucking, why would you take less money to go work at a Catholic school. Oh, I know, because you like to hit kids. They're willing to take less money so they can hit kids. That's what they would always say. They would tell us stories about why they worked at the Catholic school? Literally. They would go, I could make more money at a public school, but I'm here because we like the discipline. You're willing to take a cut in pay so you could hit kids. Those are the people you shouldn't hire. Back to this story. Laundrie was sent home, and 3 days later, she and her mother met with Strother. According to the complaint, the Strother who's the principal. According to the complaint, Strother told them that Laundrie must stand for the pledge to be let back into school. The next day, Friday, October 6th, after KHOU Channel 11 aired a segment on Laundrie and the controversy, Laundrie was allowed back in school and told that she could sit during the pledge, according to the lawsuit. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? As soon as somebody shined a light on with the gross stuff they were doing at a high school. So that's a principal at a high school. You think she ever read a civics book? You think she ever read anything? She knows anything about the First Amendment? Do you think she ever had to do a book report on the Bill of Rights or the preamble to the Constitution or anything that has to do with freedom or liberty? Do you think so? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
She's probably that's the principle.
Or she did and she didn't like it.
And she doesn't like it.
She's like, well, if I ever have a position of authority, I'm cracking down on this.
Yeah, I'm
not a fan.
I'm not a big fan of the liberty, freedom of speech stuff, talking back to authority. You're supposed to frickin' shut up and stand up and take it. So what a horrible, horrible person they have in charge of that school. We should call that school, try to get her on the line. I'm going to try to do that, actually.
Yeah. No,
she won't get on the phone, but...
Well, I just think it's, like, nasty that, like, the assistant got on the kid, too, and made a comment like that. Like, even if you're going to do something bad, which you're still already in the wrong, but to not then turn to that person and be like, okay, all right, that's enough. Like, that's not an appropriate comment to say to a kid that, you know...
This isn't the NFL. You're saying to a kid.
Yeah.
To a kid, you're doing that. Those are just bona fide assholes. And often, bona fide assholes run schools. Do you remember when you were in school? Do you remember your principal? I remember my principal. She was a horrible person. Sister Alberta was a horrible person. She was mean. She was nasty. She was a shitty teacher. And she infected the school with this negative energy, always. Sister Alberta. She's horrible. She hired Seaburger, who beat the shit out of me for no reason. I was a kid, and he was a grown-up. Those are horrible people, and that they often go into teaching. And so, people who want to be administrators at schools, teachers I get, right? I understand teaching. You want to be an administrator at a school? Why? Why did you want to go into, why? Why don't you just go to work somewhere? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I know we have to have administrators. I get it.
It's definitely a weird gig, and it appeals to a certain type of person.
Yeah, it appeals to the kind of people that do that shit, I think.
Yeah, I've had some good principals in my, but I've had I've had some bad ones too. I
had a good principal at St. Lawrence when I went to St. Lawrence High School, another Catholic school. His name was Brother Eustace, and he was from Hawaii, and that guy was the coolest guy. And I don't mean cool because he let us do kind of break the rules and stuff. Because he was even keeled and he understood children and he knew how to get the most out of them and he knew not to be, he was great. So there's, again, a lot of mixed bag in the Catholic school, a lot of great people teaching Catholic schools, a lot of maniacs.
That was my experience too.
Yeah.
That was pretty much.
Yeah. St. Lawrence High School overall, super positive experience. Super positive experience at St. Lawrence. I know it's a Catholic school. But you have to, anyway, we'll get that's a personal story. Who cares?
This is a premium in the future.
That's a premium. We'll talk about that in the premium, my high school experience. So good on you. Go get them. Good on you, Laundrie. Or Landry. I said laundry.
Landry.
I think it's Landry.
Yeah, I think it's Landry, yeah.
Is there anything more American than forced patriotism? Hey, please make sure you subscribe to our show and click the bell next to it so you get an alert every time we drop a video. Otherwise, YouTube's making it hard for people to find our stuff. And please make sure, if you can, help support the show. Become a Patreon or become a premium member through PayPal or buy some of our stuff. Now, if you're on Social Security or whatever, please don't. I appreciate your help. I don't want anybody who's struggling to give us their last $5 or whatever. If you can afford it and it doesn't hurt, please help support the show. We'll see you November 6th in Burbank, California. The next live Jimmy Dore show is November 6th in Burbank, California, and November 12th in Portland, Oregon. Link for tickets right there.